Good afternoon, St. Louis, Missouri, Detroit, Michigan, Little Rock, Arkansas, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, Eugene, Oregon, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Memphis, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Houston, Texas, New York, Baltimore, Maryland, Phoenix, Arizona, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Washington, D.C., Selma, Alabama, also down in Sydney, Australia, and Kansas City, Missouri, home of the 3 times NFL Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to launch with some team coverage for a beautiful April the 13th, 2024. My name is Howard Porcher, host and creator, along with Elder Alden Lyles. How you doing, sir?
Fine.
And how's the family?
Fine.
And I know that choir director is this is the time when it's nice day for him to be outside, or he's inside.
Oh, he's visiting somewhere else.
Oh, okay. He's on tour.
He's on a mission trip.
Yes,
they're on a mission trip. On a mission trip. And Brother Scott, how you doing, sir?
I am too blessed to be distressed.
Well, right now we are talking about that limited on the front. That's a good way to be. We will be joined very shortly by Mr. Chuck DeVoe III, and we are broadcasting live on Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. But we are Wilson Cherry, that's in North County, St. Louis County, and also North St. Louis City, and Orno, Missouri. We want to thank you for making lunch to be that Missouri Latino coverage for your Saturday afternoon since 2015. Every Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, you can be found on Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com. Originally, now we can find us also on Facebook, YouTube, and also on Instagram. And also, you can be found every Saturday live, and every Sunday at 1, and also on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. And we can be found on anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify. I mean, you name it, we are there. But now, having said that, we are blessed to have prayer with Elder Alden Lyles, who is the pastor of the Walnut Park Baptist Chapel Church that's located in North St. Louis at 5547 Linden Avenue, that's in North St. Louis, at 63120. Today's message, today's prayer, along with me from Elder Alden Lyles, who's the pastor of the Walnut Park Baptist Chapel Church, located at 5547 Linden Avenue, St. Louis. And also, the big outreaches. I get the word right, man. Elder Lyles, pastor of the Walnut Park Baptist Chapel Church, located at 5547 Linden Avenue. It's our next board here. And that's in North St. Louis at 6120. Elder Lyles, yes, sir. Go ahead. All yours.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for waking us up this morning. You didn't have to, but you did. We thank you for your wonderful gospel, how that Christ died for our sin, was buried, and rose again. By continue believing to the saving of the soul, continue to make heaven your home before you sleep and after you sleep. Heavenly Father, we know that you know what to do. We ask you to bless all the sick in the universe. And Heavenly Father, we thank you that you woke up everybody that woke up this morning. Some didn't wake up, some did. But whatever it is, Heavenly Father, you know what's best. And Heavenly Father, we just thank you for what you have done, what you're going to do, and what you're still doing. And that the gospel go forward and souls get saved before it's ever too late. In Jesus' most precious name, amen.
Amen. That beautiful power prayer, Elder Lyles, that was very much needed. I swear, it's needed very much so. So anyway, that was a good prayer for us now, and we're sitting back, and now we can go relax, and let's go to school. What you got for us?
Everybody get your pencils out. You read this and write it down as I go through it. Get your pencils out. This is a wonderful lesson here. The name of it is The Beginning with Man.
Whoa.
And this beginning with man, we're talking about Adam. The 5th chapter of Matthew, verse 48.
Okay, Matthew 5:48.
And it says this: Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now that right there is referring to Jesus Christ and Adam before he sinned.
Mm-hmm.
But after sin, it means mature, not that you can't sin. Perfect means mature, and not that you can't sin. It said the word implies full development and growth into maturity of godliness, not sinless perfection. See Ephesians 4:12-13. Go there.
Okay. 4:13.
Yes, Ephesians 4:13. 12 and 13. It says this: For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto measures of the stature of the fullness of Christ. It's time after you become born again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this passage, the Father kindness is not his sinlessness, is the point in question. Now look at Luke. Go to Luke. Go to Brother Luke.
Mm-hmm.
The 6th chapter, Brother Luke.
Brother Luke 6th chapter.
Verse 35 and verse 36. It says this: But love ye your enemies, and do good, and lend hoping for nothing again. And your reward should be great, and ye should be the children of the highest. For he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. Now, go to Genesis 1:27.
Okay. Going to the beginning of the Bible.
Yes, sir. Go all the way to Genesis, the first book of the Bible. And verse 1:27 says this: So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. He's talking about Adam here, when he made him perfect here. And Eve was inside of Adam. Adam gave the first birth. As what man do when he say he gonna take the birth out? Well, Adam gave the first birth. And it came from man. But not the way we looking at it. It came the way that God had the medical people to take the baby out of the woman where they can't go through her womb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Genesis. Go to Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
2 and verse 7.
2 and 7.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. That's the maturity of man. Now, go to Matthew 19:4. Turn back to Matthew.
It's in 19:4.
Yeah, 19:4, Matthew. And verse 4 said, and he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? Now go to Mark 10, verse 6. But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. And go to 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 45.
1 Corinthians
15 chapter, which is the gospel chapter for the saved know that they saved, and the unsaved how to be saved. I believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. You pass from death into life before you sleep and after you sleep. And the 45th verse says this, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. None other than our Lord Jesus Christ is a quickening spirit. God is a spirit. And Christ is a spirit. And the Holy Spirit is a spirit. So that's it, I on that.
Okay, well, do me a favor, then bring all those together for everybody.
Huh?
Give us a summary of what you just told us to do.
This summary is that, this is how man was made perfect. As man made perfect in Adam, that meant he was mature, but he didn't have to grow up like we grow up. See, with us coming in the world, we were conceived and shaped in iniquity from our parents' womb.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam was made mature. He was created by God, and he became a living soul.
Yes, sir, that he did. And I think one of the things we have, that you mentioned about, was very, very, very impressive and moving. That Adam, how God created Adam, okay, without there being a womb, without there being, the 9 months of that. He just said, I want, he just created man in his own likeness, by the way, too.
Amen. Hey, Al, let me give them this Jewish calendar. So the people, if they don't have this calendar, I'm going to give it to you where it is in the book. The first month of the year is April on the lunar calendar, which means Abib in Hebrew, A-B-I-B, Exodus 12th chapter, verse 2.
Exodus 12. Now this is for the
that's the month of April when Jesus Christ was born.
Okay. Now I got 12:6, you say?
Okay, it was Exodus 12 and verse 2.
Oh, 2, okay. I got you.
I'm going to be calling them off because I do the time.
Okay, go ahead.
Ziph is in the book of Esther, the 8th chapter and verse 9, Z-I-F in Hebrew. T-I-S-H-R-I is in the book of, which is April, May, June, which is Nehemiah, the 2nd chapter, verse 1. Sivan, S-I-V-A-N, which is April, May, June, July.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 1 Kings, 6th chapter, verse 37. Tammuz it's the next one. It's the next month. It's
How you
August.
spell that, bro?
Tammuz in Hebrew.
Okay.
The next month is September.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Ab, A-B. And it's in the book of Ezra. Tammuz is in August is Jeremiah 39 and verse 2. Ab is Ezra, the 7th chapter, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Elul is in Nehemiah, the 6th chapter, verse 15. Marshavan is October. So that'd be April, May, June, July, August, September, October.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 1 Kings 6th chapter, verse 38. After that is November, which is in Hebrew is Chisleu, Nehemiah 1:1. And December is Tibet, which is in Esther 2:16. October and November was November. This is the lunar calendar. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. That's the lunar calendar. And Shebet is Zechariah, the 1st chapter and verse 7. And Ada, which is the last month of the year, which is March, is Ezra 6:15.
Mm.
So that's the lunar calendar. And that's
Okay,
what we
Rev,
study the Bible by, the lunar calendar.
Rev, I tell you what we'll do, okay? I know that you kind of cut me off. Not really. We were talking about this earlier, okay? About how the April Fool's Day joke came about, and because people thought that they were gonna, like I said, most of the eclipses, that take place, in my lifetime, been like, around in April sometime, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna do it last time, but in this. April 1st was the time in the lunar calendar. What is the lunar calendar, first of all, Ray? What type of calendar is that?
The lunar calendar is under the sign of the moon. The solar calendar is under the sign of the sun. S-U-N.
Mm-hmm.
In the solar system.
The basic difference between the lunar and the Gregorian calendar is the lunar calendar is 29 days per month, so there's really 13 months in a year. 13
Go ahead
of
on,
our
Scott.
months. What's that?
I said, go ahead on. Tell it.
That's all I got, brother. That's all I got.
Well, I will tell you, gentlemen, I'm being enlightened as I'm always am when I every Saturday we have our programs. But I tell you what, though, we got to come back later on. We have more time to actually discuss, these calendars and how significant they are, in our lives, and we kind of don't understand it. Because we've been now. What calendar is the one that we use here in America? What calendar?
Ours is the Gregorian calendar.
Okay.
And by the way, the calendar, as Rev said, started in April, but we started in January. And when it changed, I think in 732 AD, a lot of people thought that April 1st was still the beginning of the year, so they were considered April Fools.
There you go. Now, Scott, you can reaction that you got to get on this one, okay?
There you go.
Yeah. I know, because you really, I just never could understand myself. Why is April Fool though? How did that just come up all of a sudden on the first of the month and people pay jokes on people?
Well, that's what I said, because a lot of people thought that April 1st was the first of the year, when that year it wasn't.
Right.
Learn something every day, Jim.
See, the first month on the lunar calendar is April, which is the month that Jesus Christ was born in, which is a harvest time, and the lunar under the lunar calendar, John the Baptist was born in December. And they got Jesus Christ born in December on the solar calendar, which is a 3-month difference, which makes it 12 months of the year. But he was born in the first month. Jesus is the first of everything.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for the education thing. I said we will come back later, sometime before the year is out, and have an in-depth discussion on this one. Because I gotta admit, okay, I'm familiar with the calendars, okay, but Scott kind of put it in there. I guess the thing there is 29 days, excuse me, per month. And so I know in some months we got 28 days, which is February. And then actually sometime before years it's 29, and then some days that we got 31 days, and some days we got 30 days.
But Ira, on the lunar calendar, that's what one of the Jewish people, and they had 28 days in the month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's based on the moon phases.
14 days they did something. So it made it 28 days a month on the lunar calendar.
Okay.
I got all this wrote down on different things. I'm just
that's what I said. We got to come back, okay? And then everybody get a piece of paper, okay? And then we're gonna do this so we all can not be confused. But don't worry about that, people. You listen to Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com. I can assure you this will be straightened out such a way you would understand it. Then there's Elder Lyles. That's Scott Owens. My name is Ira, folks. You listen to Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com. We also can hear it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. I know Scott. Take us out of here. Welcome back to Lunch with the Dreamer Team members on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. And I mean, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You know where you are. I think this past week we were blessed to have a solar eclipse, and I hope everyone follows instructions what not to do and what to do. And I do know that in my backyard, I went out. You know, I didn't look up. I just enjoyed, the comments that came about. As as was covered, the sun was being covered. But the thing that amazes me, okay, was the birds in the trees got confused, Scott, about what time of day it was.
Yepper.
They were like you thought when they were wide awake, going crazy. Okay, but anyway, they ever said that people not aware. Like I said, if you've been somewhat stressed or confused, for your information, April is Stress Awareness Month. And it was created to be attention to the negative impact of stress management. Managing stress is an essential component of a healthy lifestyle. Knowing how to manage stress can improve mental and physical well-being as well as minimizing, exacerbation of health issues. The one thing that works the best for you in stress is praying, reading the Bible. It's very helpful. Church attendance may be caused by mental health stress, according to the New York University professor Jonathan Hayes. So right now, that's the thing that works best for me. I know for you also read, get the Bible, settle down, as you say, count to 10, and de-stress yourself. And also, we're going to be a little history today here. This week, in 1864, the United States Senate passed the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, 38-6, and that abolished slavery. That was in April 1864, and then the next year the House of Representatives passed the slavery bill. In 1865, the amendment ratified and adopted in December 1865, and then all this is when slavery, was blacks, people of color, were no longer slaves, and that's why we started then fighting for us to get our rights back. And so also along the way, the government was very helpful. But one of the things that's important was one of the most important jobs that people always have had is the postal system. Originally, it was called the railway mail service, but they adopted a policy under Woodrow Wilson cabinet, and they gradually integrated whites and blacks into the system, and gradually, okay, this was done slowly but surely in all government jobs, agencies. That's just not jobs; they call it agencies. And also, history-wise, this is a good one here. But everybody's talking about in 1864, a male physician in Arizona sought to dominate health care over midwives and anti-abortion advocates. I was born delivered by a midwife myself in Louisiana. And so the anti-abortion advocates felt threatened, and then the doctors felt threatened by immigrants across to destroy it. That's not changed. The Civil War era, which the Arizona State Supreme Court just ruled in 2024 to enforce this ban on abortion that was come about in 1864 on nearly all abortions, created chaos and confusion across the whole state on Wednesday. Now, Republican lawmakers at the state capitol blocked efforts this past week to undo the ban, prompting angry cheers from the Democrats. Decision and secret backlash has exposed the divisions of Arizona Republicans over their support for abortion restriction, and it highlighted how abortion has become a political vulnerability for Republicans since the overthrow of the Roe v. Wade 2 years ago. In conservative state Vice President Kamala Harris was in Arizona yesterday, and she gave a speech that was that's restoring law, dealing with abortion, how important it is for people to understand how it affects their lives. But the one thing that affects everybody's lives very, very quietly, there tend to be earthquakes all across our country and around the world. The latest earthquake was yesterday in Long Beach, California, and also in Missouri. We had a 2.8 earthquake in Malden, Missouri, and then was a 40.8 earthquake that shook the East Coast Friday morning. New York Emergency Center after check for images or damages. These earthquakes are happening more frequently, and that's something that we are noticing, but it's also that we all talk about. Now, also, let's get back to the ruling today here. On Friday, the United States, no, that's not true. The House Representative Speaker Mike Johnson visited former President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago state, where they are now pitching new legislation to crack down on non-citizen voting. Despite the fact that the practice is already illegal and rarely occurs. Matter of fact, we have had in the last elections, about all, in fact, we got the Supreme Court involved, everybody's involved, one of the safest elections in our entire history of our country. And also back in Washington, D.C., confusion, stress we talked about already this April month here. Back in Washington, the speakers again fighting to keep the job. And they need to pass a bill dealing with aid from Ukraine and relief, which will probably get support from the Democrats. The House finally passed the surveillance bill. Now, this surveillance bill, in case they call it FISA and didn't know what it is, that's when you get surveillance around the world about what is going on. And right now, we're experiencing, as we had this conversation over in Houston right now, Houston, for people unaware, Houston struck over in Iran, just recently, and it took out one of their government buildings. Well, Iran promised a retaliation, and guess what? Here we are right now, about to have a retaliation. And it says that this attack from Iran is deemed to be intimate, as Europe is bracing for a worst case scenario that the United States could minimize, could materialize within hours. And for people that keeping the word, this morning, President Biden returned to the White House, and there are now rockets going back and forth between Jordan. And now, this is interesting. Hezbollah is one of the creations of Iran. And so now, as this is going on, the United States invests out more battleships into the sea there to protect. Now, keep in mind, the water there is right off the Gaza and also there in the sea. But Jordan and all these other countries in Iran are landlocked. And so that's where the United States are having these ships moving to position here, but they got to fly from the ocean to where they want to be at, to hit the right place. So that's why right now a lot is going on while we have these conversations on the radio today. So again, I ask you to please be mindful of what is going on. Scott and I were talking about this a little while ago. There are wars, rumors of wars, all day long. All day long. And this is like reading the Bible. There were rumors of wars, and right now we have rumors of wars. And this is continuing to build up. In matter of fact, on the more positive side, in our country for the young people, two things took place this week. Now, one thing that was very important, Scott, we had Mr. Joe Adams on a couple of months, well, not this year, but last year, had him come back. And one of the loopholes that President Biden just kind of did on executive order was passed executive order saying that now when the people sell guns from their homes or from the gun shows, they have to be registered. We were told by Mr. Adams, people, that's how guns get into the streets. I mean, that's how. And so right now, this may go a long way. I know in my city, in St. Louis, They said the gun violence is down, but the murders continue to go up. Okay, there's black on black in our neighborhood. That's what is going on, and also this is creating serious issues here. But what do we do about it? And I think one of the things that this will do will go a long way, and for the first time in 37 years, some kind of improvements on how guns can get to the streets. I know Missouri, we like the wild, wild west here, but they are changing some laws here in the cities, and you can see how they have less guns on the street. I'm talking about open carry. Open carry. Now, this is something, again, that's come back to Missouri again. President Joe Biden just wiped out another $7.4 billion in student loan debt. Now, this is a lot important because people who got in debt 30 to 20 years ago in college, it may have been like $60,000 then, but that money is almost double what they owe nowadays, and they're still paying it. And so the student loan debt kind of wipes out stuff like that. So far, President Biden accounts $153 billion to show $1 billion to show his support among young voters. Now, he said he'd make another attempt at it that would affect another 30 million people. But despite Republican opposition and legal challenges, one problem that is here in Missouri, in Central Missouri, there's an organization called MOHEA, which means Missouri Higher Education Loan Authority. And the other ones that get these loans, you get your loan through MOHEA, and at that point you have to pay them back. Then there's instance they get compounded on those. Now, to make matters even worse, when student loans payment resumed after the pandemic, MOHEA was late in sending letters to over 2.5 million people. And that increased more anxiety. And among those 280,000 people received inaccurate information. But how much money was owed according to the Student Fraud Protection Center? And the organization advocates for the elimination of student debt. Now, as this takes place, okay, we find ourselves, in a lot of ways, our states. I say here in Missouri, you have to go to our state legislature, but right now, people, there's a history lesson. We're looking at as we going now into the election season, and right now for presidential election is taking off. Now, there's one small problem that the media right now is being dominated by former President Donald Trump, where we're about to have some trials taking place in New York City. And on Monday, former President Donald Trump will be in court. He's the first former president to face a criminal trial. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has found 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in order to hide a $130 million payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Now, the jury selection began at the Manhattan Criminal Center very shortly. That's tomorrow, on Monday. And so now in this trial, there's going to be a determination about these two women and how the money, again, was, and by the way, these are the word, this all took place prior to President Trump being elected president. And this was back during the time where we had the bus tapes where anybody grabbing women's neck and stuff like that. And at the time, his wife was frustrated, and he was had sex with excuse me, my voice here. He had sex with these two nice looking ladies. To be honest with you, Miss Stormy Daniels. She's a porno superstar, in the movies and stuff. And there's another lady. But anyway, you're gonna find out in the next week or so. A couple of years ago, I said on our airwaves that you're going to learn a whole lot about the political system in our country. Well, we have learned a whole lot now about how the House of Representatives works, how the Supreme Court works, how the Senate works, and also now how the executive branch works. And now we're seeing now in our own eyes, about to see now how our judicial system works. And by that I mean we have trials going on, and it's so important right now about this trial with Mr. Braggs that's taking place, because even if President Trump becomes president, he cannot, if he's convicted, he cannot pardon his own self. This is a state case. It's just like we have in the case of down in Georgia, where we had so much uproar about Miss Willis, about Miss Willis, Fannie Willis, being able to prosecute Donald Trump and the people that were down there on trying to get the votes, to turn the election. And by the way, this was the court, 60 some judges, courts, agreed it was a clean election. And now, while this is going on, people, the lawyers that were involved in this scheme, for lack of a better description, are now in the process of losing their law license. Most recently, the gentleman that was in California that came up with the idea, he's right now fighting to keep his license. Mayor Giuliani right now has been suspended with his license, and there'll be more people right now losing their license. And these are all talking about in an election, okay? That again, that was very chaotic from the start when Mr. Trump got in, and then he ends. So right now, I would say, as we get our guests coming up very shortly here, that this is going to be an interesting time of year in your life to watch how the first time in our history in America, our president be going on trial, former president. Now, here in St. Louis, I'm happy to say that things are starting to change in several ways. Now, downtown area, which we had a lot of crime, started right now to get better. In spite of what you read in the Wall Street Journal, the more newspapers. This past week, downtown St. Louis, we had our soccer team playing at the same time. We had our football team, the Bellhouse playing at the same time. We also had the St. Louis Blues playing, and there was no killing, period. Okay. Only thing that took place that was noticed was a young kid got on the wrong subway, on the wrong light rail, and the door closed, but they found him right away. So again, St. Louis is a good place to be in. St. Louis is also one of the few places around the country that most cities are trying to duplicate. In St. Louis, we are blessed to have all of our major sports stadiums in the downtown area. Now, in the downtown area, that's like the football stadium, basketball stadium, the soccer stadium, and also the hockey stadium, and the baseball are all located in the inner city. In addition to that, we also have a Temple Gardens. We also have the St. Louis Zoo. And also, we have the Gateway Arch. So, in spite of all the bad news, St. Louis is positioned now, like most cities, going through a wave where things are about to change. When no changes took place, I said this week, President Biden put a key in the gun sales. The gun sales have to be licensed now. They sell them at gun shows. They mean getting guns off the street. Then I'm saying, happy to say, unfortunately, I'm not happy to say, but carjacking and murders continue to increase here in the city of St. Louis. But on that note, you listen to Ferguson, USA, HotTalkRadio.com. My name is Ira, folks. That's Scott. That's Ray. I'll be right back with our very special guest, Scott. Take us out of here.
to.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Lunch with the Blue Light Human Commerce on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in St. Louis. Also, it's beautiful in the DC area also. But we have one of our favorite. Well, he's my mentor also, so he's also one of my favorite guests, Mr. Bill Kovacs. Bill, how you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty well. You forgot to mention I'm your older brother too.
Yeah, he's my older brother. You know, and in fact, honestly, people, Bill has been a blessing for the Missouri Human Commerce in so many ways that we collaborate on a lot of different projects that's moving forward. And unfortunately, some of them gotten bogged down in politics. But we will also, it will go well for us. But anyway, Bill, but in that same time, bro, let's do this first before we get started anything now. You got a new book that came out recently. What's the name of that book?
Oh, Devolution of Power, Rolling Back the Federal State to Preserve the Republic.
Now, see, okay, now explain that. I think that is a very timely title for what's going on right now.
You know, it's really simple. I was sitting around a couple months ago and asked myself, what's the problem? And I said, the federal government is completely mismanaged. Well, if you're going to make that assertion, then you've got to figure out, okay, what do we do to change it? I mean, look,
Okay.
It's pretty simple. We've got a federal government that's almost $35 trillion in debt, which is borrowing another $1 trillion every 120 days. By 2035, we're probably going to be $50 trillion in the hole. What are we going to do? And the first thing we've got to do is the government is so big, the federal government is so massive, over 225,000 regulations, a couple 100,000 laws. You've just got to cut it back. It's more than humans can manage. And why don't we go back? The theory of the book is, let's do several things. One is that the federal government has to shrink its power and worry about the most important things, and I'll list them: taking care of the security of the country, making sure that the banking system is strong and the dollar is strong, and that the people have civil rights. Other than that, all the other programs ought to go back to the states. And if government is closer to the people, you're going to have more government. And before I get off, I just want to give you one piece of advice, because I looked it up today, and I went on the online to find out what's the financial position of the federal government. It's really interesting. Every year, the cost of the federal government is about $7.6 trillion. It brings in $4.4 trillion in taxes, and it borrows somewhere between $1.6 trillion and $3.3 trillion. They're broke. But the bigger issue is, you ask yourself, well, what are the assets of the federal government? You think that the federal government is this huge, massive thing, and they've got money everywhere, they've got parks and buildings and everything else. The assets of the federal government with a $36 trillion debt, they only have, well, listen to this, $5 trillion in assets. That's everything. Building, and out of that $5 trillion, 1 point.
Bill, you're moving around. Bill, you're moving around a little bit. You're kind of cracking up a little bit.
Okay.
No.
For 1 point of all of the $5 trillion in assets that they have, 1.3 trillion is student loans, which they're trying to forgive. The federal government is roughly $33 trillion short, and if it didn't have a printing press, we'd all be bankrupt. The country's bankrupt, and that's why I wrote the book.
Well, Bill, I think right now, you know, the three things that you named. Okay, one was the security, and just for you to get your insights, in the Middle East right now, you know, we're looking at Israel and Jordan seem to be about to have some type of altercation here. Israel attacked them most recently. So, what are your thoughts on that? Of course, the security of our country.
Well, the security of our country, I think, is pretty poor right now. I mean, look, you can go back almost to the Vietnam War. We screwed up about every single security policy decision that we can possibly screw up. A couple of years ago, we screwed up Afghanistan. What do? We let the Taliban back in charge. We've never really done anything in the Middle East other than worry about getting oil out of the Middle East. And so I guess I look at the position.
Let me stop right there. That's a whole thing, okay, that people fail to realize that all this about the Middle East, okay, is about oil.
That's all it's about. Other than that, if they didn't have oil, nobody would care who they were, where they were, or anything else.
No. But go ahead.
No, I think the bigger thing is, look, we screwed up Afghanistan. We let a spy balloon fly over the country for 12 days and never did anything. We were all we spent $1.5 trillion every year on security. They didn't even know that Hamas was going to attack Israel. I mean, we're like the Keystone Cops when it comes to security. I mean, they don't believe that they don't believe we need it, or the people who run security are not really on our side. But for whatever the reason is, the country is not secure. And I'm just going to go down the list a little bit. The Chinese now have a larger navy than we do. We spend over $1 trillion, well over $1 trillion a year on defense, and another $1.5 trillion on the spy network. That's $2.5 trillion somewhere that we're spending. We have a smaller navy than the Chinese. We're running out of ammunition. We've drained our petroleum reserve. I'm not sure who's running this government anymore. I mean, and I'm not talking about Biden or Trump. I'm talking about the people who are running the agencies. We seem to be in a state where we're completely incapable of doing anything right.
Mm-hmm. Bill, and just to add to that, so that a few minutes ago I was talking about the House representative, didn't want to pass, the spy bill, for lack of a better description, okay, and that to me, okay, that shouldn't even have to been discussed. That should have been like everybody should have been in favor of that. They want to make sure that we're being protected, like you just said. Nobody seemed to know. And right now, you fight about funding that. That's just, to me, that blows my mind every time we have a conversation.
Well,
that's security 101.
The fight over the spy bill is a little bit different than security. The problem is the spy bill has been used by the spies in the U.S. to spy on the American people. They've been spying on the American people forever. They spied on Martin Luther King. They spied on Bobby Kennedy. They spied on John. I mean, we can go over. You can't spy on the American people.
Yeah, but
that's the problem. And so that was what the fight was over. Is they wanted to put limitations. Now, unfortunately, they didn't do it, and they passed it out. So our government will still spy on people.
Yeah, well, I know. I've been spied on before. I mean, I think that's the thing that people know, that our government, okay, is so dysfunctional in so many different ways, and I think that's one thing that you're saying here. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, in a roundabout way, that we have a dysfunctional government.
If there isn't a CEO in this entire country who would run a business like these guys run the government, there isn't an officer in any corporation that would run the corporation like the government runs. Mm-hmm. Why can't these guys just get up in the morning, or girls or whoever? Why can't they just get up in the morning, go to work, and do their job? If they don't have the money to pay for something, then they either figure out how to finance it other than printing money, or they don't fund it. But at some point in time, and part of the book, and I just want to raise a chapter in the book. It's called Unjust Laws. And what we've been doing for the last 7 presidents, because that's where 97% of the debt is, the last 7 presidents from Reagan forward. So it's Republicans and Democrats. It's not everybody's got their hand in it. We're passing this off onto our kids. So, like, my 2-year-old grandson is going to grow up, and when he grows up, he's going to have roughly, when he's 21 years old, he's going to have roughly $50 trillion in debt, which is going to be about the equivalent of $600,000 a taxpayer. Let me repeat that. It's about $300,000 a taxpayer now. It's going to double by the time he's 21. So what we're doing is we're taking all this money, we're living on borrowed money, whatever it is, whether they give it to you as a gift or they give it to you as COVID or whatever they give. We don't have it. And we're not doing anything right now to get the budget in order. We're just saying my grandson should pay for it.
Bill, if you're talking about that, I know here in St. Louis, we have we talked about this briefly the other day. We have a beautiful. Used to have a beautiful hotel downtown on the riverfront. That
Right.
that was they changed names, okay, and right now, but that hotel, okay, it's been sitting there for the last 10 years vacant, and part of the problem is that the people who own it, okay, are in China.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I or nobody on this program could possibly go someplace and buy some land in China, especially on the riverfront.
That's true.
I mean, and right now, if you look at it around the country, most of them in city places, the most sometimes about best locations. I was amazed because I was down in Dallas when they just were storing the Texas, they were letting foreign countries buy land in the downtown Texas area.
Yeah.
They're
buying land. They're buying land in North and South Dakota by military bases.
Well, same thing here in Missouri. We had the same problem. We had to stop them, shooting and saying no land could be sold to any foreign government, within so many miles of a base.
Mm-hmm.
And
we do it.
Yeah. So that's why, the things that sometimes we do, is so confusing. Confused, not confused. It's confused to look at how they do it. And it's interesting. The part that gets me real, we all paying for it.
We're all paying for it. Until the American people decide that they're going to take charge. I mean, the one great thing about this country is if the people want it, they can get it back. But they have to want to. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd vote every single person who is a politician out of office and start over. You could throw darts at a dartboard and pick names out of a barrel and probably have do better than what we're doing.
Also, we were talking. I know one of the things that in your background, you've been in a Republican, in philosophy, so to speak, and I've been with Democrats and Labor and stuff, but now in the House of Representatives, which it kind of bewilders me that the Republicans finally got control. Not finally, they got control of the House of Representatives. They want to get control of it, and since they got control of it, Bill, this has been the least productive House of Representatives in history. And right now, for the first time in my life, because my life, big brother, you ain't started putting this, you're older than me, big brother, okay, that I'm watching, key Republicans who got in key positions in power. So people understand whoever has who had the difference in the vote, who's in charge had the most votes. And right now, the Republicans are there, but they have chairmanships of the committees. And that's one of the best things if I want to get chairman of a committee. But right now, you got a very young man that stepped down as chairman of this committee, and he wants to get out so badly, and he hates the party so much, in my personal opinion, that he calculated how that when he leaves, they're going to have a special election, to fill this seat and be vacant the rest of the year.
Congressman Gallagher really screwed the Republican Party. But they all, I mean, look, McCarthy left early, Gallagher's leaving early, Buck's leaving early. I mean, these guys are going in there, they get elected as Republicans, they've had the support of Republicans, and they're going in and screwing the Republican Party. I just don't, I mean, it's unheard of.
Yeah, and I said, and I just don't understand Martin Taylor Greene, constantly saying that she want to be called a speaker, and and even just the other day, the speaker went down to Florida, and him and President Trump, that's how to go for life. President Trump, they want to go out and make sure that we are not, that the people who are voting, our voting system is secure. Let me find out my notes right here. Right. And that, it makes no sense, okay? Because right now there is no foreigner who can vote. To do that, you can become a citizen. Okay, you got to go through a whole process before you can become a citizen.
Right.
And I've seen the whole process where a printer man, who been able to do the swearing in, and it's not an easy thing to do.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm saying it's not an easy thing to do. Okay, and so now I just don't understand why we had a big press conference. And by the way, Mr. Johnson is one vote away, okay, from losing the chairmanship. And that affects all the Republicans who lose their chairmanships by their committees.
Yes, you're right.
And I think that's the thing that's not being said. Our government, that's the thing not being said in the debate. That if he loses, okay, every Republican will give up their chairmanship. And also, one of the prime teams in politics, as you know better than most people do, they give up their office space. In the Capitol building, there's only so much space that they have in the building. So
it would be quite a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess, and it's happening in the middle of a term. And that's the bad part about it.
Oh, if that was the worst part about it, I could probably live with it. But I mean, even when they're all there, they don't seem to be able to deal with things. They're all like little kids. The difficulty I think you and I might have is we generally live in the real world and we go shopping and we do things that normal people do. And members of Congress, and especially members of the administration, they don't live in the real world. If you're part of the administration, you have the presidential lunchroom and you can go to the old executive office building and get great lunches for subsidized prices. And, everybody has a driver and they have planes if they want them. When you have that many people kissing your butt and telling you you're great, you don't understand reality at that point in time.
Yeah, you're right about that, Bill.
And I think that's exactly what they are.
Yeah, Bill. They're all hypocriticals.
Yep.
Or hypocrites.
You got it. Yeah, but they're all look, some of them are pretty down to earth, but most of them aren't. I mean, I've said this a million times. If it were up to me, I'd just get rid of them all. Some days if you walk into a place and it's just completely corrupted, what do? You say, clean up the corruption. Can you clean it up? They can't. They honestly and truly, they really can't. They need to get a new group. They need to, my first book, Reform the Kakistocracy, ruled by the least able and least principled people. That's what these people are. They're the least able and least principled, and they can't do it.
That's another thing, Bill. I think you and I both read. You probably should rename that book, okay? Because right now, we're living through that right now.
Well, if you really read the history of our Constitution, these guys were never. The Constitution never contemplated these people as getting power as individuals. It contemplated them getting powers as fiduciaries to run the government and for the benefit of the people. And literally from day one, they started accumulating power, and they all are accumulating power. They're not accumulating power for you or me or anything. They're accumulating power for themselves. And they accumulate, and if they get tired of doing what they're doing, they go get a nice job in some cable network for $5 million a year. They're not in the real world anymore, Ira. I mean, they're just not there anymore.
Yeah, right now, you mentioned that because when this young Gallagher stepped down, he probably got not a six-figure job, 7-figure job waiting on him.
Oh, absolutely. Why do you think? I mean, you're talking about Gallagher leaving before, and he left, so he left it so that they couldn't replace him, as sort of a punishment to the Republicans. But I'm betting, I have no basis for saying this, but I'm betting that the job he's taking with his defense contractor, part of the deal was to say, screw the Republicans. That was part of the deal. And he did it. So if these guys aren't even loyal to the party that helped getting them elected, who are they loyal to? I mean, seriously, who are they loyal to?
Yeah, Bill. That's the whole thing. That's that I love these countries that we have. Okay, because they're down to earth about the system that's governing us, and the part I continue saying, and we're paying their salaries, and right now, with the Republicans leading by one vote, and and I'm kind of sitting back like we all are, just wondering, okay, when they're going to give all their championships over to the Democrats.
Keep wondering. It could happen.
Yeah, I know. It'll be the first time in history, that this is ever taking place. And I think right now we're living through everything we're seeing nowadays that we said, this is unbelievable. This is again unbelievable.
Actually, it happened one other time in the Senate where Jim Jeffords switched sides. It was a 50-50 and he switched sides and everybody lost their chairmanship. So it has happened. One.
Well, one time in the House of Representatives, I was saying.
Okay.
See, in the House of Representatives, people are not aware of this. We have, this would affect 435 different representatives, okay? And about half and half, okay? They change offices.
Right.
And they have new nameplates, on their doors, okay? And the power will be in their hands then. And that's the thing that always got me, okay, is that when this is taking place, how petty this is, Bill.
Yeah.
Like with Gallagher, like here in Missouri, I can make it very plain here. Right now, as we speak, right now in Missouri, we have one of our speakers, leaders of the party, the Republican Party. He's I think I want to say for the House of Representatives, and he was going to run for governor. He was running for governor, and there was his stepping stone because they've been terminated out. He got to get a better job. Well, he tried to get a contract, and now he's been investigated. And now the people that you know I'm talking about here, the people that he hired on his staff, okay, also are former crooks, like a business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, this is something you write a book about, okay? You should look at. Write a book about this. And even Bill, the thing that we're talking about right now with the student loans, that all coming back to Missouri with the student debts. That they made a big mess, okay, of the process. And now, okay, we got our Attorney General suing now, what Biden is doing, because nobody should, this is something, Bill. A person had a $60,000 loan and they graduated, okay, and they still paying that loan 20-something years later.
Yeah.
Where in reality does that take place?
Well,
but the government, you can't file it.
It's called compound interest. The problem is that if these kids can't, they're not kids now, they're adults, but if these people
right, they're adults.
If they're making small payments every month, they're not paying off even principal, they're paying off just interest, and it just accumulates. Right. I mean, a lot of these people, the loans are bigger than what they borrowed.
I'm just saying that, okay, and at the time, the education, that's one of the things with my kids, when they, I made sure they didn't get any of those student loan deals, okay? When they were growing up, and they was available to them, don't get me wrong, okay? But I made sure, I said, we're not going to do that.
Right.
And now they find themselves, decent jobs. Okay, they have money, and not have to be bogged down with the student loan. In the town, they thought Daddy was crazy. They thought Daddy was crazy in that town. What do you mean? I said, no. You don't want to. No, that's not good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the difficulty with all these student loans is the more money the federal government puts in, and this is another one of my pet peeves. The more money the federal government puts in loans, the more the school tuition goes up because the schools are saying, well, they've got more money, we're just going to take it. The schools ought to be. I mean, one of the things that the money, if the loan money ought to go from the federal government to the college, and the college should be responsible for paying it back. If it wants to make a loan to a student, then it's between the college and the student, and if the student defaults, then the college eats the loan.
Well, that don't. Well, let me tell you, okay. Here in St. Louis, we had a over 100-year-old college, okay, Bon. You probably heard of one of the very outstanding universities in the country. My sister graduated from it, but she did now. And we all went there. And this school right now is closing. It is closing. And then we have another school here in St. Louis, in the same St. Louis area, Lindenwood College. They were doing quite well, and been around for a while. Got into sports. They went from NCAA Division 2 to 1, and they all of a sudden they were doing quite well. And guess what? They're now cutting all their sports out just about. Mm-hmm. One of the things that no one talks about, and in the Title IX, am I right? Where it said that all sports now, even college sports had to have women they had a man program, football, but football, they had to have a female program. They had to for wrestling, no. But for basketball, you can't deny. I know how that school is benefiting from a young lady that's an hour, but how those programs are benefiting, okay? But there are some schools right now that cannot afford both sports.
Well, look, the schools have gotten pretty fancy. They've got fancy dorms, fancy.
They have facilities,
climbing walls. I mean, the whole. I mean, Ira, look,
Bill, flat screen TV.
Going crazy.
Bill, and this is when it gets me. I was at Wilberforce, one of the poorest, schools, HBCUs now. But when I went to Wilberforce, my dorm room, okay, was two of us, okay, and I had the top bunk, okay, bunk bed, and I was kissing, the heat pipe next to the steam in the morning time, okay. And nowadays you go to school now, they got flat screen TVs. They got, whatever unit that they own, they got everything that you have in a lecturer's office someplace.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those days in college dorms. It was a cinder brick wall and two beds in a room and two with legs on it for a desk.
You're right.
And it was fun. I enjoyed it.
No, it was. I got some funny memories of it, some times. Okay, but I'm saying, as I visit, like to the campuses, look around, and now they get up even more luxuries.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
How many years did it take you to graduate? Did you graduate in fourth?
Well, no, my case, I ended up leaving early, okay, because I was in Wilberforce. I didn't like, the campus was too racist for me at that time.
Okay.
I mean, it was one of those places that the difference right in the middle, and then in 1969, like 68 plan, okay, and right in the middle, okay, and I told the story here on the station at the time. One of the things that drove me from Wilberforce was we had maybe I think one white guy on campus, and he had scholarships, to do wrestling. When he got there from Sweden, okay, from a foreign country, when he got there, they didn't have that sport, but he stayed on with us there. And I know one weekend we went out of town, came back. He had a bus, the bus on campus. He was heading to the airport. I said, "What happened to you?" He said, "Oh well," he said, "I gotta go." Well, I found out, okay, that they didn't want him on campus.
Huh.
You understand? And to me, okay, I'm saying that ain't something that I can get ready for.
No, it's tough.
I mean, and then there was some other things happening at the same time. When I came home, my mother got it was a lot of things, okay, but it was a matter, okay. As I look back, I said, did I regret? Not. No, I don't. Okay, because I wouldn't be talking to you today, okay. If I went around, I would have went then.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to join the fraternities, okay, because they were so crazy.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different. There's
another whole story. But we got off, okay, on dormitories, mainly, okay, how schools nowadays got the best of the best. Then they end up closing down or cutting programs.
Well, I mean, look, if you go to, when I went to school, and it was a long, 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 long time ago.
Okay.
They did. I mean, we had, maybe throughout the whole course for everything, maybe a couple hundred courses. If you took history, geography.
Oh yeah, the basics. The basics.
You didn't take any of this other crap that teaches you how to be a Hindu and deal with deal with different ceremonies or religious studies or how to fit in society. And I mean, it was just the basics. We're going to teach you history, geography, math, science, philosophy, and English. That's all I had for 4 years. That was it. And you know something? It was the best thing that ever happened to me because I didn't get my mind didn't get wandered on all of these other things. I was there for an education. I got it and I left.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's why I went there for education, and and I was getting everything but that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, matter of fact, one of the things that really that kind of blows my mind to today. When I left, okay, I was probably one of the few people on campus, okay, that had a dashiki at that time. So we going back to
what?
Yeah, dashiki. Well, you know those?
No. Yep. Yes, sir.
I wear them all the time.
Right. Okay. Well, this back then, okay. When I left, okay. I left my dashiki because when I went to school, I took that with me. The guy that was a good friend of mine in St. Louis, he made them, okay. And so you got have one of these to go with you, okay. But I got on campus, everybody didn't know what it was. That time, oh, that's over. I heard this and that, okay. Well, when I left, okay, I forgot my dashiki, and they was actually bidding on who will get my dashiki. It was the craziest thing, okay. And I'm saying, am I glad I got out of that? Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
The dashiki was the Afro-American look coming up in the 60s. Dashikis.
Yeah.
We just had flare bottom pan, big bell bottom pan, all kind of stuff. But they didn't know what was what. They just said anything come out. St. Louis get the last trend of everything.
Well, considering I've never had much hair. I don't have to worry about the shikis.
And also I had an afro. I mean, but we really, and Bill, one of the things I was just reading something the other day. That the SAT, they had certain tests, okay, that you would be trained on, educated on, that like how to write. So that's one thing that I took very, at school. I know we all took. I took pride And that in the every school we had this some this little posters on the bulletin on the chalkboard how to write this in cursive. You write there and not to print. Well, nowadays, Bill, you get most places your schools taking out cursive altogether. And I couldn't figure out why. Okay, well, most recently I was going into for one of my therapists, one of the hospitals and stuff, and the lady said, "Just put an X there. Put an X there." You know what I mean? She's a young lady, okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, but I'm saying this is the generation, Bill, that didn't understand. They took cursive out of the schools.
Yeah, it's amazing how dumbed down it was. But speaking of cursive, I went to for grade school. I went to Catholic school, and all of my teachers were nuns, and they all walked and you had to go. You had to write on the blackboard in cursive, and they sat there with one of those yardsticks. You know, remember those?
I know about those too.
And if you weren't doing it right, they smacked your hands. I mean, all these nuns in jail today if they did that. But
that was one of the things. That was one of the things my father, I mentioned, when I was in school, I was in Catholic school. He showed up in Catholic right before my father died, and I remember telling my father, I said, I can't get, that this not working, Daddy. He said, what's wrong? I said, these nuns, and I don't know which one is which, okay, they got together your stick, they just beat you. and they all look alike, okay, yeah. But one thing for sure that they went to the class, okay, how to smack you on your hand.
Yeah. They were a tough crew, but they did teach.
Yeah.
So, they did teach. You got to ask yourself if that's what you're going there for. Then they did.
Right. Yeah, but it's.
Aaron, you call them the children of the devil, the apostate teachers.
Well, right now, we can say this much, okay, Rev, you and Bill, Scott, a little younger than us, that we were taught how to write. We were taught not to use a computer, not to use a calculator, that you couldn't use those. But I was thinking, not when I got out of school or came home early, I went to a technical school, Bill, and I was taking a drafting, okay? And they did not allow you to have a calculator.
Right.
Right. You do the old-fashioned way with the yardstick. With the rules and all this stuff. Well, nowadays, that's something all banned. You can't use that stuff no more. I remember my sister, you had a little kiss they gave you. And I remember my sister, when my sister went to wash you, in draft and stuff, and I gave my case very proudly, right? Well, nowadays, what a case looks like, what it's for.
See, Aaron,
it is.
Hey, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
That's when the automation started coming in then. Because that's the stage we're in now, is automation. Your computer.
Yeah.
Automation, we were just coming apart, and half of them didn't know how to use the automation. That's why they didn't want you to know.
That could be true, Rev.
I was saying the same thing. That could be true, okay. That could be true.
Some days I tell my kids what it was like when I was growing up, and they think I'm like from Mars or someplace. They really don't believe the world was like it,
right?
The way I describe it. I mean, the family had one old car, and we were happy to have one old car.
Right. If you had a car.
Then we had little local stores where you went to buy your food and your meat and stuff, and we didn't have Giants and Safeways and Costco's and whatever.
Oh no.
And it's just incredible. We had, if I wanted popcorn, the popcorn guy came once a week and stayed down in the corner with his little cart and pop popcorn. I mean, they can't believe that it was like this.
Bill, you know, it was like one of the things, okay, that that they had Woodworks, I think it was at the time, was where you could go in. That was my first job I got. Was a Woodworks. My wanted me to have a job.
You said Woolworths?
Yeah, Woodworks, I think it was.
Sure.
You remember those? They don't have to be gone now.
Oh, they were great.
But Bill, I raised the question. Okay, I'm in Bishop, Mississippi. Okay, by the way, I had this discussion, but that's where I went to school in Bishop, Mississippi. So up until my freshman year, and so I went to school. So when I got my little job at Woolworks, the first thing I did when I went there, so the job, put your brush, broom down the aisle. That's all I had to do. The floors. And so the first thing I did, when everybody left out the store, I told the service on here. First thing I did, Bill, we went to the water fountain. Now on the wall, okay, this said color and white. And what I wanted to do, Bill, was taste the white water to see if it was different than the colored water.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, but even now, but I'm saying that's how even down south now, Bill. We have places now that still take place at. They still get color in Georgia.
Really?
Yes.
Lord. So
I was telling my daughter. I thought so. I was telling my daughter about it, and she was telling me about that. And this is a place, and she sent me some pictures of it. No, she wasn't gonna send me pictures of that. I said, no, I don't. That's something I want to forget about.
Of course, you do realize now that at least in the northern part, at least where I live, Washington and North, you don't have water fountains anymore. You're not allowed to even drink.
Oh no. Matter of fact, those came out the wall. Now they got no water fountain. Some places, where just stand alone as one water fountain.
Right.
And I just could imagine how much money they spent putting in two water fountains, okay, to the same water pipe.
I know.
I mean, give me a break, Bill. People, are we crazy today? We talking about, because this is the conversation about how things were and how things are. And now people are trying to go back to where things were, but they felt it was a better time than we have now.
Well, we're pretty lucky today. I mean, even the poor people have what I would call the basics. They have food and they have television sets.
Yes.
I think I'm going to say I was 9 years old by the time we got our first television.
Yeah, my mom got one, okay, and matter of fact, my auntie got one around the corner, then my uncle got one, and everybody will come over to your house, okay?
That's what I always remember. We went over to my Aunt May's house and watched her. She had, this is when I was little, but she had one of those really tiny TVs. They were just...
Right, black and white.
And everybody it was, the whole house was filled. Everybody was watching television.
Right. Right. I know, Bill, to go beyond that, okay, my uncle had got, Uncle Monty raised me, okay? But my uncle had got a record player, and we could play album. My first album I actually bought it, my entire life. All my little gang we put together our money, okay, and we bought the Beatles album. Okay. And we got it on the record player. My uncle always have Red Fox and Mom Maywillie P like that. And some gospel albums, but those were the times that life was pure, and we didn't have, and that's okay. Never did I ever have my auntie, my mother, Noah. Did I ever ask them? Did they ask me what did I want for dinner? Dinner was dinner. When you got home, dinner was dinner. You ate it.
In those days, you were just really glad that somebody made dinner for you.
Right, yeah, then we had dinner, okay, you know, and
But,
I
but,
know that,
but think about where your mother went. She went to a really small store probably and bought
right, around the corner,
whatever she could.
Mhm.
And that's everybody, you know, whether you, I mean, I remember the street that I lived on, you know, I'm going to say about at the other end of the block was one of the richer people in our neighborhood. He was the vice president at the Bethlehem Steel, which was a big company at the time. But people with low income and but nobody had really high income in those days. But the wealth difference was great, but everybody lived in the same neighborhood. And it was,
you know, those little stores, okay, is what got me almost not coming to being alive because my grandfather, it was in Delta, Louisiana, and he's a Frenchman, and my grandmother was Indian, and so my father, yeah, so my grandfather,
an American Indian, I assume.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and this meeting at the meat market there in town, the only meat market in town in Delta, Louisiana, okay. And so when the white women would come in, he had them get in line, okay. No, like who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? And so the white women got mad and told their husbands about. Said, well, I go over I'm sure the store over there. You know, I gotta get behind them niggas to the French, okay. You know, and they didn't like that. Now, could you imagine my grandfather, who's surrounded by most blacks? You know, he goes home, okay, black people, okay, that he's gonna do something different, okay, to my grandmother, to her friends, okay, you know, let somebody get in front of them, and so he didn't change his policy, and the Ku Klux Klan bill came out there to lynch him.
Wow.
They tried to do it twice. And that's why I say, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, the Klan chased my family. You know, and they were unsuccessful. All because, like we just said, little small meat market in a small town at this time. You know, and my grandfather just happened to be the meat man.
Wow. That's quite a story.
But it's the truth.
No, I'm sure. Look, we had some troubled times in those days, and thank God we've gotten by a lot of it.
We can laugh about it. We can
laugh, yeah. It's only. Go ahead.
Okay, that's about this is strange, but let's get back to our dysfunctional times now that we find ourselves in. But in those days, things actually worked. Okay, things did function at that time. And our politicians in those days, okay, as I recall, they were more accessible to us. And I know, and you know, when I help people get elected, even to being a governor in Missouri here, and you know, even to a congressman, I was the person that got them elected. And the one thing that's amazing to me, Bill, the moment they get sworn in, they're a whole different person.
Yep.
And once they raise their hand and take that oath, Bill, they're not the same.
Yep.
And you said, like Chuck was saying, it's in the Kool-Aid.
It is. Well, I think I told you this story before. When I was practicing law, one of my clients was at that time a former congressman, and he had a lot of problems, and he ended up going to jail, which frankly he should have. But one night I was having dinner with him after he got out of prison, and I asked him, I said, "Why did you do it? He was stealing money, basically." And he said, "Well, Bill, what you don't really understand is that when you're a member of Congress, everything in your life is good. Your kids all get scholarships to the best schools. You get the best deal on a car. You're always involved in the partnerships. Whatever you want, your contractors do your housework for free. Whatever you want, it just happens. And after a while, you just think whatever you do has got to be right, and everybody's going to do something for you. And he said, I just kept on doing what I was doing and never thought about it. And I went to jail.
Well, you know, that happened right here in St. Louis a couple of years ago. In the black community, we had an ex-president, one of our aldermen, Louis Reed, and another gentleman, Mr. Boyd. They all took some favors, okay, on camera, and they all went to jail. And I knew them, most of them, very well. But I do recall, I just said, I remember when before they were aldermen or whatever they were, okay, they changed the attitude desperately bad, okay, because they thought people were supposed to kiss the golden ring or something.
Yep.
So you know what, Aaron? Hey, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
You know why they got locked up?
Come on, Red.
Because they were set up.
And they were set up.
They were set up to pictures of them because they had too much going on right for them, and they was getting nonchalant instead of doing what they supposed to do. They didn't do it. They got to sleeping. When you go to sleep, you get your head cut off.
Okay, Red. All right, Red. And that's the truth. You're not looking. You don't have your eyes on the prize.
Did you ever see the movie The Hustle? I think it's The Hustle. It's about ab scam. A lot of these things are set up. I mean, they're still, the people involved are still crooks. I mean, they're just super crooks.
And they piss off the wrong somebody, okay, and they say, I'm going to get you back.
Yeah. And this is Satan's system. From the president on down.
You got it, Rev.
Yeah, I mean, they said you just hit it on the head. They feel that they're royalty. You know, and that's the thing that's really, is like I said, it's the attitude adjustment that takes place.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it right when you said when they get sworn in, they're just different people. I mean, right now, the tragedy of the whole elected, everybody who's elected, is that they really work for the people who help, who give them the big bucks, and everybody else is irrelevant. I mean, we're all just commodities to these people.
Mm-hmm.
So we are.
I give
this once every couple of years.
Well, I give you a good example here. In our congressional seat right now, we have a young lady by the name of Cori Bush. Now, what Cori Bush did, okay, when she was running to become a congresswoman, she came up with one that came up with the slogan, "Defund the police department." And that became a slogan, okay, for the Republicans. I know and Democrats lost greatly here because I remember some of our Democrats were ahead in the polls, I mean, from the governor on down. And when she came up with defund the police, okay, she got elected, okay, but the Democrats are still right now trying to fight and get around fund the police. Now, I said this, she got elected office, okay, and right now, she's been scrutinized because for her own security right now. And she has security guards where she goes in D.C. And when she goes, she has a security guard. And then she has all, okay, you know, to marry the guy that was a security guard, private security.
Yeah, one of them was her boyfriend, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was her boyfriend, okay, then she decided to marry him.
Well, that was sort of stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah, come on now. This is our congresswoman.
No,
and I can't defend her.
You know, you got to sort of laugh at it a little bit because it's really tragic. I mean, it's
tragic.
These people get the opportunity of a lifetime to do something positive, and they don't do it. I don't. No. I'll never understand that. I mean, it's like right now.
Hey, Bill. Here's the point, right? You know why they get like that? Because there's no good thing that dwells in the flesh.
That's true. Probably.
Yeah. I mean,
which is one of the reasons why I wrote Devolution of Power, the book, because we've really got to make government smaller so people can react to it and interact with it. You know, if more is at the state level, it's cheaper to run for office. You have fewer constituents. You can talk to them. I mean, it's more democracy.
But Bill, that may be true where you live at, okay? But here in Missouri, we have a professional baseball team. We have a professional hockey team. We have a football team in Kansas City, Kansas City Chiefs, world champions. We have soccer teams, professional soccer teams. We have professional baseball teams, as I said. And in Missouri, they can't get a bill passed. They call it gaming, okay? You know, we're really, you know, they're trying to get a bill right now where people can bet on sports. And all the states around Missouri, okay, have those bills. But with all the money they got right now, that the sports, you know, those teams are coming together right now to pass a constitutional amendment, okay, to get betting. And our legislators are fighting so much amongst themselves in our state capital, they can't get the bill through. And they all want to go to baseball games. And they all brag about their football games. But these owners of these football teams, baseball teams, cannot get their state representatives, state senators to pass these bills. And now what they're trying to do, Bill, they're trying now normally is if you get a simple majority of a constitutional amendment, you win. Well, they're now trying to, in the House of Representatives, they're trying to raise that bar. They have 60% for them to get a constitutional change.
What's the objection to gaming?
Bill, I don't have the slightest idea what the objection is.
I mean, most of the time it's corruption and the people who can't stop gambling and lose too much money. But I mean, they've got programs.
We got casinos. You know, although as a matter of fact, they're trying to get another casino right now, and the deal just passed. We get a casino now down in Liquor Resort. And I think they give us either 13 or 14 casinos, but those all passed, no problem.
Well, sports gaming is one of the hottest industries in the country.
Not in Missouri.
Maybe not in Missouri, but I'm telling you, every place else it is.
I know it, but I'm saying, but not in Missouri. They will not have, not even trying for these 4 or 5 years. And right now the session is almost over with this year. But like I said, gaming every state around us, okay, Illinois, Kansas, Tennessee, I mean all of them, okay. People go there and they bet. And then take money out of Missouri.
Yeah, well, you know, like in Virginia, a lot of the money goes to schools.
Same here. The money goes to schools. And now, okay, you know, we got schools suffering right now, okay. You know, also Missouri has the lowest paid teachers in the whole country. Well, not the lowest, they're second the lowest.
But what they be doing is robbing the taxpayer, us, the people that's in the community. That's what they be doing.
Well, really, not real right now. They have personal infighting in Jeff City. Okay, Republicans are there. They control the governorship, the House, and the Senate. And now there's all personal vendettas, okay, against each other. They all trying to grab you.
That's why I told you this is the devil's system. Come to kill, steal, and destroy.
Well, right now, that's alive and well. Because right now, gaming right now, Bill, if it passes, it will be a surprise to me. And but right now, it looks like it will fail again. And the only way if it does pass, it will be because that it's a constitutional amendment that gets it done.
Well, I mean, however you get it done, you get it done. I mean,
I know. Well, I agree with you, okay, but now I guarantee you, once it passes, okay, those same people right now will be the first one to go bid.
probably.
You know what I'm saying?
But at the end of the day, you got it passed, and at least you got a little bit more freedom, and you get a little bit more revenue for the state. The bigger issue is still that the state has to stop spending money. The federal government, they have to figure out how not to spend all of this money all the time.
Well, Bill, here right now, you just said it yourself. Gaming is one of the largest industries in the country. And Missouri, right now, they're cutting taxes on everything now.
They're cutting taxes on everything?
Yes, they are. For the rich.
Oh,
You got our
but that, I mean, Ira, that always happens. When they talk about tax reform, it's always tax reform for the rich. It's not tax reform for you.
I know it, Bill, but right now, you got these billionaire football and team owners and baseball team where everybody going to participate, go to games, and which everybody participates in. It's baseball, football. You got all type of betting right now, even here in Missouri. Not going to get over there. The sports teams right now, the players right now, they're making money before they get to college. I mean, before they get to the pros. I mean, because they got this, they can be sponsored this, sponsor that. But then it's an NIL, when they can get, matter of fact, we just got a new basketball coach here in university this week. And already there's an article yesterday's paper, today's paper, saying that the portal that they have where teams, the players can come to different teams now, but they can get them better deals. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty common right now.
Yeah, like the young lady in the basketball right now from LSU, she made over $1 million while she's in college. Like Deion Sanders' son riding around in Lamborghini. I mean, Rolls Royce.
If they're good enough players and they've got a good enough reputation, why shouldn't they make some money?
Oh no, I would firmly agree with that. That the team, the players should be compensated. The coaches making millions of dollars a year.
Look, my daughter played Division I lacrosse, and I can tell you that anyone who plays a sport with the amount of time and effort and practice that they put in, they deserve more than they get. So if they
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bill.
If they can get something for their image, go for it. I mean,
thank you, Bill. I agree. I think sports myself, and I was back in those days, okay, when they wasn't doing when it wasn't, you could hardly get nothing.
Oh, you couldn't get anything, really. And probably when you were in school, they didn't even have scholarships for a lot of these kids. They just played because they loved the game.
They also didn't have paper.
Yeah. We can argue on that, okay? But again, that's how dysfunctioning. Now, I can't. This is the dysfunctional. That's how it's still happening right now. That as the further we go, and I wrote a poem once, and I was a sophomore in high school, and I wrote a poem, okay, and I put your pen right poetry, and I said, if you argue with a person, okay, for 1 minute, okay, you have lost 60 seconds of happiness that you can't get back. And so right now, as we talk about all this dysfunctional stuff that's going on in our lives, okay, I even had a job that I created for myself in the city where I took complaints. People call and complain. And it's like the richest man in Babylon. they complain, okay, but sometimes that's all it is, okay. They want to tell somebody their story and their problem. They forget about it. They want to put it on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
They want to say, Bill, I need this, I need that, and and that's what the representative is supposed to do for you when you're like we got an HATAP bill. This happened recently. Not in HATAP, but it's a neighboring city there where they had a young mayor, and she was upset because the people want to tell her what they want her to do, and she felt it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Because he was not said not started to correct her, but I just sit back and said, this is not. I want to see how this is going to work out. Because I know at the end of the day, okay, how it should work out.
Well, that's how it should work out. But it doesn't work out that way. You know that. So
And I can see why Gallagher is leaving the House of Representatives, okay, the Republican, because he doesn't want he's going to be associated with the stupidity.
I know, but he still got elected by the people for 2 years, and he took an oath to serve.
Well, Bill, for one, I agree he should have stayed, okay, because he cheated them, okay, and put their faith in him.
Yeah, they put faith in him. He got his position. He got his chairmanship with the China committee, and he now can make money on it. So he's selling his position.
Right now.
Selling out.
Bill, he got a 7-figure salary waiting on him.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, because they usually have a law that you have to wait so many years, okay, before you get the job and get up Congress or something. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
And they can leave you paid.
Staffers still have to wait 2 years, though.
Right. It ain't right, Bill.
Well,
Anyway, Bill, let's get back to basics here. We have had a VIT session here, okay, about how our system don't work. You know what I'm saying? But at least, okay, if you will listen to us, probably saying, and I thought it was just me, okay. So this system really is messed up. Even with our president right now, President Trump, here's a man, he had over almost 90 indictments. You know what I mean? And now he's on trial. Having the money going to pornography. Paying women for him to cover up something.
Well, let me just say one thing to you. I mean, Trump's on trial now. I just want to tell you, if Trump wins, Biden's going to be on trial. So they've unleashed a tornado, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Worse and worse. I agree.
There is. Wax worse.
5 minutes, gentlemen.
And that's what and that's the thing that Scott reminded me today. I was telling him about earthquakes and about the wars. He said that the Bible says there are wars, rumors of wars, rumors of wars. And right now, the Bible is being fulfilled.
Amen.
I mean, to the T.
Ivor, at some point in time, I told you I'm going to have to break early. So.
I'm sorry, Bill. When I looked at the clock a second ago, okay, but I was going to say something. I
love your conversations because you talk about real issues.
Well, I'll come anyway. We want to thank you so much, okay, for taking the time from your grandson. But right now, you're going to go have fun now chasing him. Or he's going to chase you.
Hey, I'm going to chase him. Thanks, Ivor. Thanks, Rev.
Love you guys. Please thank you, Bill. Okay. Right now, we want to thank Bill Kovacs. Actually, Bill was filling in a little longer today because Mr. Chuck DeVoe could not make it. I know he was he's over in Illinois just past Wednesday. They had an event over there for the Library Day with your National Commerce and stuff. And I know he was trying to get back home from there, so I can understand. But again, we want to make sure that you had a great show, and I think you got to be a Kovacs. We got a man there that's Bill was also the former chairman, the former executive with National League of Cities, where he was in that, where he actually was hands on, and and we met in D.C. Over some political issues and stuff, where I was able to do some stuff here in politics, and we said we're gonna be friends, and we developed a healthy relationship. I can say that. But yes, you still there, right, Bill?
I gotta go.
Thank you so much. Oh, bye, young man. I thought you were going. I just was talking to Bill how we met. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, right now I'm gonna let Bill hang up. Okay, I don't want to lose nobody here. Let me hang up here right now. Let's see. Okay, Bill's gone. Well, Scott, well, Red, Miss you. What are your thoughts about today's show, Red?
Fine.
Okay.
You got to keep on doing it better and better.
Brother Scott.
Lots of good conversation, Brother Ira.
Well, it was like give and take about the real world.
Yep.
And like I said, National Human Commerce, most of our members, like Chuck, they were Republican. And I'm a labor man, a union man, and we have those discussions. But I see them coming more and more and more now towards the way unions think, okay, about how the job system works, how you get paid. At the end of the day, okay, how you have a security in your job, and how you can make money at the same time. And right now, in Missouri Human Commerce, we're in the process now of creating jobs. And that's how you have to create jobs, okay? Then you can have control of the job.
Hey, Scott, when can we meet?
Well, let's do it sometime next week offline there, Brother Alan.
I can't.
Well, Scott, you broke up, okay? Give me that again.
Well, we'll talk about that offline there, Brother Alan.
All right.
All right.
Okay, yeah, but that's all good. But anyway, like I said, one of the things that our chamber right now, I have to thank Mr. Peck who is now our vice president of Kansas City, with the Chamber of Commerce, and he and his beautiful wife traveled to Springfield to Lobby Days, or that's a process, something there that Mr. Larry Ivy and the others actually come and do every year. And we're trying to put together our Lobby Day people here in Missouri. And so they got a chance to actually see him. His son came over also to participate, and he had a great time. And so we want to thank him, his beautiful wife, and his son for taking their time and going to Springfield. And matter of fact, the state capital there is, I've been to that many, many times, and I will tell you this, that Lobby Days where you get a chance to talk to your